Hey everybody, I'm back. So clearly I brought Theo back. He is laying in his bed comfortably. He did actually walk the whole way back to the house, so that seemed funnier. I think it was because I wasn't paying attention to him, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, like I was saying, hmm, it wasn't last weekend, but it was a weekend before that we ended up going to Nashville. And I just kind of realized that one, Nashville isn't really my space. I'm not like a bar person. And to me, that is like the majority of what it is. And that doesn't really entice me because I kind of grew up around all of that, and I've seen numerous people, drunk or under the influence in some way, whether it be alcohol or other things. So, like, that's never really been me. Now, have I gotten inebriated? Of course I have. Like, I've drank on my 21st birthday. Like, I drank. But it's never really been like at the center of like the things. Like, I've been offered multiple things, and like it's really easy for me to say no just because those types of things don't really pull me in. So I said all that to actually say my husband and I, we were talking, and I told him that I don't want to be addicted to anything. Like, at all. Like, that would be my ultimate, like, really cool thing to say, that because full disclosure, I vape, but in my defense, I smoked for, oh wow, years. I maybe had my first puff of a cigarette when I was like 9, and again, I will be 40 in August. So, and I'm not really smoked, like went and bought cigarettes and things like that for years now. I can't remember the exact date that I quit because, I see, that's the funny part. Like, I don't really remember dates and stuff. Like, and that's how bad, like, the brain fog and stuff like that was for a while. So I can't tell you exactly, but I know it's been quite some time, like years. I just don't know how many. Now I do vape, but my ultimate goal is to quit that too. And I don't vape nearly the way I did when I smoked cigarettes. So I'm quite happy with that. Again, the ultimate goal is to not have that either. And like, my big thing is like addictions and stuff like that. Like, I've always like been, no thank you, I'm good. Like, I don't want to be that person, right? Because for me, I tell people all the time, if I were to do a drug, like, and let's just say that, if it did, like, okay, so for instance, if it made me forget something, I may very well fall into the trap and do it again. Or, but then I think about it, and the time, like, when I did drink, I think I was emotional, and I was like, okay, well, I can forget this, but when I got done, like, the problem was still there, right? So why can't I put that same thing with emotional eating? So I've been watching videos like Gay Hendricks. He did like a little course on how to break free from emotional eating. Obviously, I watch Kelly Hogan. Kelly Hogan, explains her ways of, doing things. Dr. Kim Berry. I watch Liv Savage, Robert Sykes. I watch his wife as well when she posts things. I watch so many. I subscribe to so many channels, because I will say that whenever I'm having kind of a rough time, or I feel like I might be having like a craving, if I get on YouTube or even like Amazon, and I get on like a health and wellness podcast, or I start watching a film or a documentary and it's explaining certain things, I can literally like talk myself out of whatever it is that I thought about doing, right? So that's like right now that's helping. I will say that I am unbelievably lonely in this, because nobody in my personal life is doing this with me, right? I don't even have a gym buddy, which kind of sucks, because I like going out to the gym. I like working out. I like having someone work out with me because it gives me something to strive for. And I think we all know that. Like, if you have a gym buddy, you're going to try your best to outdo them, right? So, that's where I'm at. Like, I know it seems simple to someone who doesn't have an overeating problem, or, you know, a lot of the people that you see are already fit and they're trying to tell you how to get fit, and you didn't see them in the struggle. So I feel like this is going to help, because just this morning I weighed myself. Actually, I'm sorry, it was yesterday morning, and I've been writing down whenever I do stuff, right? So, for instance, on the 8th, actually, the last weigh-in, because I can literally tell you, was because I don't want to tell you wrong. I got to look at the days. Was the 29th. So 14 days ago, 2 weeks, and I weighed 244.6, right? Well, yesterday morning, I weighed in at 400, oh my gosh, wow, 240 pounds, 0.0, so 240 even. So that is 4.6 pounds in 2 weeks. Now, a lot of people would say, well, that's not much. Well, hey, if you break it down, that's 2 weeks, right? So that's 2 pounds each week. Or 4 pounds in 1 week. Or however you want to do it, right? Actually, 4.6 pounds. So almost 5. So I count that as a win. Now, also, on the 29th, when I took my blood sugar that morning, it was 122, right? But then the next day, 121. The next day after, 4 days after that, because it was the weekend, or it was going into the weekend, and we left that Thursday. It was 89. Because that weekend I was like zeroed in on what I was doing. Then I come back on the 5th, and it was 104. So not awful. All right, that was the 5th was 104. Then the 6th it was 104 again. All right. Then the 7th was 100. Okay. The later on, so what I did kind of, this is going to sound really crazy, but I did a very, very short kind of fast. So 5 days in, or 5 hours into the fast, I also checked my blood sugar again. So it had went from 100 all the way down to 88, right? And that was 5 hours in. Then 24 hours into that same fast, which went into the 8th, I checked my blood sugar at 10:18 that morning, and it was 112. Now, you got to think that on average, like my blood sugars in the morning can it be anywhere from, like, I've had it as high as 153, right? And that's that dawn effect. Now, before I go on any further, I am not a doctor, okay? I am a healthcare professional, but again, I am not a doctor. None of this is medical advice. I'm just giving you my numbers, my way, the way I'm doing things. So anyway, so that was 23 hours into that fast, and it was 112. Now I asked around a lot, and I was like, okay, so is this normal? Y'all, I even went to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT says that gluconeogenesis, things like that are starting to happen. Glycogen is starting to come out because, you know, whatever it needs to do. So on that very same day, a few hours later, let's see, it went with, that one was at 10:18, so I waited all the way to 6:35 that evening, and that was 31 hours into that fast. My blood sugar had went down from 112 all the way to 91. All right, so, and my ketones at that time was 1.9. Which made my Dr. Bras ratio 47.9, so not quite into like definite autophagy, but my GKI was 2.6. That's a win, right? So, and then I broke it, and, you know, I started eating slowly. I did not record my numbers because for me, like, if I see something jump way too high, I'm going to really zero in on it. And then, you know, it's going to cause stress for me. So I didn't do it. But as of yesterday, I checked my blood sugar in the morning. Now, anyone who wears a continuous glucose monitor, you know, these things, you know that your CGM and your blood prick are going to be off. Sometimes it can be up to 30 points off, okay? So yesterday morning I checked and my CGM was 122. Again, it also registers fluid, the vestigial fluid right up under your skin, whereas the blood is right now, okay? So CGM was 122, but my actual blood sugar was 102. My ketones were 2.6, okay, which put me at that perfect Dr. Bras ratio for therapeutic ketones, for fat burn, you know, all the good things. At some point I will post a lot of these graphics and stuff, but like, there's a lot of things that I can't do right now because it's so new. Like, I realize I can't go live yet until I get at least 50 followers, which is another reason why I said, if you could, you know, subscribe, and if you feel led, you know, maybe there might be someone out there that would love this raw, just straight up raw and unedited part of stuff, share it, you know, I mean, so anyway, and y'all, to me, that's a big deal. My GKI was 2.17, which is below the 3, and that was on that second level of the GKI. So you can look it up. They have it on Keto Mojo's website. If you look, you know how important that is. It's really, really cool to have it there. And each day that I do my blood sugar, I want to show y'all. I make a little note to myself. So I put day 23, and then I think I said day 23 carnivore. I'm doing it. So, like, I'm literally talking up myself first thing in the morning to kind of put myself in a really good mood, remind myself that, you know, this isn't easy, it's a process, I'm making it regardless of how beautiful or how amazing it is, I'm doing it. I also want to say, so anyone who really would like to know, I mean, I don't know very many people who would want to know this, but my normal like foods are, I mean, let's just do it really, really quick. Like hamburger, bacon. I got like the Angus burgers, and y'all, I don't go all out because some of us can't really afford that really, really super expensive stuff. But I will say I also look for sales and stuff at like Lowe's, Aldi, Food Lion, even Walmart. Like if you go early enough, you can find deals and stuff. So anyway, my main diet here lately has been ground hamburger. I even had some lamb, eggs, bacon. This morning I did have some of the Quit protein. Probably won't do that tomorrow. I want to see how it messes with anything. Because my blood sugar has been kind of high this morning. So I have paid attention to the CGM, and I know that's different than the actual blood sugar, but it's read like 129 up until like, I don't know, 10 minutes ago. I will say something. I was on metformin a while back, and ever since then, I don't want to get too TMI, okay? But anyone who's ever been on something like that can tell you that what I'm about to tell you is true. I was on metformin for almost a year, and certain bathroom habits have not been the same since. So every now and then I'll have a normal, let's just say it, a normal bowel movement, right? A lot of, like, I'm not a big pill taker. I don't do a whole lot of supplementing. Now, I do iodine. I do Lugol's iodine. I do take my Avasitol. From time to time, I will take berberine if, like, for instance, I go somewhere and I get a meat from somewhere else and I don't know what possibly spices might be on it, or if they may have used a bit of sugar in that particular spice or something like that. I may take a berberine, like not long ago I started doing a little bit of deep diving on certain things, and there's been like numerous things saying your bile could not be where it needs to be to like digest things properly. You may need to change the way you eat your fat. And y'all, I'm still not at the point where I can eat a bunch of fat off of meat. It really grosses me out right now. Now there are certain fats that I can eat, like, okay, for instance, off of pork. I can eat pork fat. Oh God, it's so good. And then the fat off of a chuck roast, I can do that. But I've recently kind of cut out pork, minus the pulled pork that I had at that particular restaurant on our Nashville weekend. I've actually cut down, way down on the pork because, there's so many things. There's parasites, there's this, and, whatever. Anyway, so I cut down on that. And so really and truly, like, I personally don't do what everyone else is doing, like the whole stick of butter thing, the drinking the grease off of the hamburger that I just made, butter in the coffee. I don't even do that, and still the BMs are awful. So like I said, I did a lot of research of my own, videos, things like that, and I pretty much anything that I read said something about digestive enzymes. So I am not at all affiliated with anything. I'm too new, so I'm not sponsored by anything. But this is what I take, okay? Me, myself. But I saw this, and it's pure, y'all. I don't. It's pure, right there, pure, and it's digestion GB, digestive enzymes to support lipid digestion. So it helps you digest the fats and things like that. And I just started taking it, so I don't really know if it's going to help. I hope it will, because just it would be great to just be normal, right? So trying to think of anything else kind of important. But like right now, it's just more so about just trying to be real with myself, being as real as I can with you guys, and just keeping on it. Really, I mean, because I have noticed a lot. I do have way more energy during the day. Like right now, I probably wouldn't even really be talking to you the way I am right now, just because of just energy, really, putting myself out there, stuff like that. So being able to talk to you guys alone is a big old deal for me. Going for that short walk with Theo was really cool for me. Now eventually I would really like it for him to actually walk on the leash while we're talking, right? But I am 24 days in. Today is day 24 that I am living in right now. So the end of day 24 will obviously be tonight, but tomorrow's day 25. And that is my goal, one day at a time. I literally look at one day at a time. And I think that's partly what's helping. I am taking Element. I'm not sure if I even have a discount code for that. I might. I'd have to look on my account. I'm pretty sure I might. But a lot of times people have to really sell, or not sell, but like promote. And if I were to promote any electrolyte, that would definitely be one of them, because I use it. I use it every day. Right now, that's another thing that I spoke to Greg about was the cravings were awful, y'all. Day 12 was awful. And I messaged the only person that I knew would respond back, without a doubt. And, he said, I think he said, I don't even remember exactly, but the conversation ended on double your electrolytes, and I was like, okay, cool. And I have I have noticed that after that, I mean, I may see something and I'm like, God, that looks good, or whatever, but like it's nowhere near as nagging as it was before. So I do use LMNT. That is literally what it's called, and they have 1,000 milligrams. Hold on, let me make sure, because I want to tell you right. I want to tell you exactly right. So I know for a fact that they have 1,000 milligrams of salt, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. So it's really good, and you need that salt, especially when you go low carb in any way, shape, or form, because your body automatically starts, letting go of fluid because of that inflammation that's in your body. Again, not a medical professional, I'm just telling you the facts. So, Element is a really big deal. I also make my own form of Element, which is the raw and flavored. You can literally buy the things that Element themselves put in their packet, right? So I do that, and I do it myself. I put them in these little tiny jars, and when I can't necessarily afford to buy the Element. So they are a little pricey, but they are definitely worth it for convenience. You know what I mean? And then you don't have to buy like a bunch of things. But again, that works out too. So it just depends on what kind of person you are and what kind of stuff you like. So yeah, I mean, like I'm trying to slowly take things out of my life, but I'm also adding things in. So I think I'm going to end there. We're at a little over 25 minutes. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching the video. If you subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate that. If you shared it, thank you even more, because you're getting the word out, and I appreciate all of you. Again, I know this isn't ripping, roaring, exciting. I mean, it might be exciting to you. Maybe I'm someone that can help you do what it is that you want to do. Or maybe you know someone in your life that needs a little motivation, right? So think about me, think about sharing it, think about subscribing, and I really hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care.